Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Bouncing Back with Brighton. In today's episode, we're going to play Wolves in the Premier League, I think. Depends on the Champions League fixture schedule. We'll play whichever league game comes first, and then the opening game of our Champions League group campaign for this season. But before we get into any of that, we've got the group stage draw to do. So as you can see, we are seated in the top spot alongside Liverpool and Arsenal, both in England. So 3 English teams all in the top pot. We might as well flick through this, see which group we're getting in. So we're in Group D. Let's see who the second seeded team is we get. We'll get Barcelona, of course we do. Let's flick through and see which third seeded team, Red Bull Leipzig. They're a decent side. Probably could have been a little bit worse. Actually, no, it couldn't have been. Either Monaco and Red Bull Leipzig are probably the best 2 teams in the third seed. And then we'll flick through in terms of our last team is Anderlecht. So I would say that's a pretty difficult group, all things said, especially considering we were top seeded. Barcelona, of course, going to be the main contenders for that top and second spot. Red Bull Leipzig are probably no mugs. I haven't really paid too much attention to them. They've signed Matazo from AS Monaco. I had him scouted, but they're like their key player. Amadou Hiadara is an absolutely fantastic central midfielder, so could be a difficult one. Obviously, you would expect us to qualify this group with relative ease, but you never know. Football Manager can be a funny game sometimes. So our opening game in the Champions League is going to be against Barcelona. So we're playing Wolves beforehand, we'll get to that, and then we'll play Barcelona after. So we're here for the first game of today's episode. It is going to be away from home against Wolves in the Premier League. So there has been an international break and a lot of our players have come back quite unfit. So we are going to play a little bit of a rotated side against Wolves today. We're going to start with Carlos in goal, Tavares, Gonçalves, Juric and Carlos Julio in the defence. Benteeb returns after his long injury in defensive midfield with Aquino in the centre. Sebastian Jaros and Juan Insfran on the wings with Bert Jacobs in behind David Ibrahim. I would have started Darius Courtney in today's game, but he picked up a knock on international duty. Wolves come at us with a 4-4-2 standard. Nothing really crazy about that. No big names really stick out. Still got Rui Patricio in goal. Jayden Bogle, our former player, currently in at right back. Away from home against Wolves, we should probably win this game. Let's see how it goes. And I've completely forgot to show you the other fixtures that we've played off camera. So after this match, we'll review the fixtures that you've missed. 8 minutes in, we have our first highlight of the game. And it's actually Wolves who are on the attack and take the lead. No, please no. Let's not do this. I know I've played a rotated side. Don't punish me this hard for it. It all came down the left-hand side for them from a throw-in. Demarai Gray plays it back to Howell Merrifield. And Pedro gets his head on it to get his second goal of the season and put Wolves 1-0 up. It's took till the 30th minute to get another highlight. Thankfully, we are currently in possession, so we'll see if we can build something from deep. Bert Jacobs picks up a pass from Carlos Julio, who drives forward, gets dispossessed. Hopefully we can retain possession here with Tavares. We are knotting it about nicely and keeping possession, but we're not really breaking Wolves down in the defensive areas. Aquino finds Sebastian Jaros. Julio's in the box. Please, Julio. He gets his first goal of the season. He has spent a little bit of time out of this first team as Raul Corret is playing really well at left back. But he was struggling a little bit with conditioning due to the international fixture. So Carlos Julio gets the game today and he repays us that favour and gets us back in this half an hour in 1-1. Bert Jacobs picks up an injury just before half time. We do have Ryan Gravenberch sitting on the bench. A clear upgrade. Obviously Ryan Gravenberch was sitting on the bench purely down to his poor conditioning. We've got Barcelona next game, boys. We really need to, reserve our energy and win this game, ideally, first, please. Highlight now, Gravenberch with a free kick. Go on, put this in them. He goes wide. With only half an hour to go, we're going to have to make some changes to try and change things here. Juan Insfran can come off. We'll bring on Paulinho in his place on the left-hand side. We are going to go to attack and team mentality. We'll demand some more from our boys. And hopefully they can do the business. With 15 minutes to go, we finally have another highlight. It's been an incredibly quiet game. And we really need to get a goal here, but Wolves pinch the ball in midfield. And we'll see where this leads us. Bando cuts in from the left-hand side for Wolves, takes a strike on. That was an awful, awful finish. Another highlight now, corner, 9 minutes to go. Please, lads, please get another goal. I don't want to draw early on in this season against Wolves. We've already drew one game, which we'll see next, which wasn't the worst result ever, but ideally we can keep on with getting 3 points and keep ourselves near the top of the table going into our fixture congestion, because that's what's going to happen in the next couple of months or so. Thomas Tavares down the right hand side, gets the ball in, it's cleared only as far as Carlos Julio. We're having to wait quite a while to see us actually create an opportunity here. Thomas Tavares to Aquino. I thought we'd lost the ball there and I thought they were going to break. Gravenberch finds Tavares again. Great first time cross. And Paulinho, the substitute, comes on and gets the goal. His second goal of the season. An absolutely fantastic cross by Thomas Tavares, who's starting today in place of Valentin. And thank God for that. We're going to go to a cautious mentality. Purely sit back a little bit. Wolves have clearly been doing that all game. If they want to come for the game, they're going to have to start to push up. We'll see if anything changes with the formation. You can see some of the player roles definitely switched there. We're going to make our final substitute of the game. I think it's going to be Aquino coming off. We'll get Marcelo Saya on in the centre of midfield. That's a switch that I don't mind making because they're pretty similar in terms of quality. And here we are, the final highlight of the game. This should be full time whenever the referee is good and ready. And there it is, full time, Brighton 2, Wolves 1. We've avoided a little bit of a scare there and just got the 3 points, which is all we need. So in terms of the fixtures that you've missed since the last episode, the first of which was our opening game in the Premier League against Burnley away from home, which you can see we won 3-1. They actually went in front through Will Orban in the 31st minute. David Ibrahim equalised. Sebastian Jaros and Ryan Gravenberch completed the scoring. We then faced Manchester United at home in the Premier League and we dominated the game, honestly. We were well deserving of our 3 points. Paulinho put us in front inside 8 minutes. David Ibrahim doubled that shortly after half time. And that's how things finished. And this was the draw I was talking about away from home against Spurs. If you remember, we've just played Manchester United and Spurs back to back. The two teams who defeated us last season. And we'll go 4 points, which is ideal. Obviously, this game wasn't ideal. We dominated possession without really creating any clear-cut opportunities. Neither did Spurs, and it was a really, really dull game. I'm glad this one wasn't a live com. And finally, before the Wolves game that we've just played, we played Swansea City at home and absolutely demolished them 5-0. Ibrahim, Jaros with a double, Gravenberch, and a Luke Shaw own goal. And after that win against Wolves, that sees us rise to second place in the Premier League table. Level on points with Manchester City, only behind on goal difference. Spurs can't equal that. They'll probably not go above us with their game in hand due to their poorer goal difference. But it's a reasonable start to the Premier League campaign. We're here, it is game day against Barcelona in our opening game of the Champions League group stage campaign. This is how we're going to line up. Antonio Carlos in goal, Valentin, Gonçalves, Juric and Carlos Julio. And we're playing Raul Corret in the defence. Bentieb, I don't really want to play Bentieb there. We're going to play Diogo Aquino. We'll bring on Marcelo Saya. That's how it's going to line up. Sebastian Jaros, Gravenberch and Paulinho in the attacking midfield roles. And David Ibrahim will naturally lead the line. Now, I haven't really paid too much attention to how Barcelona have developed on this save, but it looks like they've got an absolutely fantastic squad. Aaron Martin, our old boy from West Ham, is a really, really talented left-back. Polarola we had at West Ham as well, I think, and he's a decent right-back. He's not absolutely fantastic, though. Milenkovic, Umtiti are good players. Mark ter Stegen's obviously fantastic. Emre Can as well. Ruben Neves, they've signed from Wolves, an absolutely fantastic midfielder, still only 27 years old. Dembele, Coutinho, Kai Havertz as well. They've got a good side. Are they better than us though? I don't think they are, honestly. But we are away from home, so I would take a draw. So we kick off, we're shooting from left to right in this first half. I would really love to get our campaign away with a win. But as I said earlier, I would definitely take a draw here. 27 minutes in, we'll get our first highlight. Sebastian Jaros with the free kick. Gravenberch heads just over. The first half an hour or so is going reasonably well. We haven't scored yet, but we're creating a couple of opportunities here. Hopefully it can continue well into the rest of the game. Coming down the right hand side once again, Sebastian Jaros on the ball. Back to Valentin. Finds Marcelo Saya. Great challenge by Barcelona. They can maybe break here, but thankfully we can keep possession. Correct with the corner. Across to Sebastian Jaros. He almost puts us 1-0 up. That's particularly why I love Corret on that left hand side. He's such an attacking player. He's got really, really good crossing attributes, so hopefully he will get plenty of assists this season. And now we have it, Barcelona 0, Brighton 0. That is the end of the first half. I'm quite reasonably pleased with how things are going. In terms of general performance, obviously we haven't really created too many clear-cut opportunities. I think that Sebastian Jaros chance towards the back end of the first half was the best opportunity we've had so far. We will actually get the league table up just to see what's happening in the other game. Anderlecht are actually beating Red Bull Leipzig, so maybe I was a little bit giving Red Bull Leipzig a little bit too much credit there. Ryan Gravenberch has picked up a knock, and I think Bert Jacobs is injured as well, so we're going to move Diogo Aquino to that attacker midfield role, and we're going to bring on Bentieb in the defensive midfield role, which Aquino is now vacating. There is another highlight 62 minutes in. We're high pressed against Barcelona, but they have played incredibly well to play themselves out of danger, and Kai Havertz goes for the cross. Ousmane Dembele is there. Fantastic save by Antonio Carlos, but he cannot get at the second one. Ousmane Dembele punishes us, and of course 1-0 up. I cannot believe that Barcelona have not been in this game whatsoever. They get their first opportunity. It's a great cross in by Kai Havertz. Don't get us wrong, we are so far out of position, it's unbelievable. And not Antonio Carlos, Raul Corret not marking his man at the back post. We just got dragged to the wrong side. We're going to go attacking for the final 20 minutes or so. We could really do with getting a point here at the very least, but it looks like Barcelona are going for it now, and Kai Havertz, some diabolical defending by us. That is absolute diabolical. Thankfully, it's a goal review and it is offside, but if that counted, the defence would have been absolutely slapped for that. We're going to get Corret off, who's struggling a little bit for Carlos Julio. And in terms of poor performances up top, David Ibrahim isn't playing great, so we're going to get Darius Courtney up top. He does have a little bit of pace, so maybe he can break the Barcelona defensive line. That's a penalty, ref. Come on. You don't need to go to VAR. He has given the penalty, thank God for that. I think it's Paulinho stepping up. Can he get another goal out of his tally so far this season? He does to stay again. It puts him the wrong way. I'm going to go back to a balanced team mentality, and I'm happy with 1-1. Just don't mess this up, boys. It was a decent penalty. Nothing really to see. Highlight now with 8 minutes to go. We're not pushed up quite as high as we were against Barcelona last time they scored. So hopefully this could see us defend this well. But Barcelona have worked this incredibly well to find Coutinho on the left-hand side. They're going to go for the long-range strike. That is absolutely fine by me. Antonio Carlos can save them all day. 4 minutes to go though, and Barcelona are pressing again. Oh my God. Ousmane Dembele gets his second goal of the game and puts Barcelona back in front. It looks like it takes a deflection. I'm not sure who off, but it must be one of our boys. We'll see it here again. It does. Oh my. He's not even looking at the ball. Gonçalves, not even looking at the ball. Hits the back of his foot and goes into the back of the net. Thankfully, there's a highlight straight after, and maybe we can get ourselves back into this game once again. Paulinho plays it in. Sebastian Jaros is there. Equalise immediately. Absolutely fantastic cross by Paulinho. Sebastian Jaros does incredibly well to cut in from that right-hand side and gets the first-time finish off. We don't deserve to get beat here. We deserve at least a point. And hopefully now, with that goal, we can actually hold on and maintain this result. 20 seconds to go. There is a Barcelona corner. Antonio Carlos comes and claims. And that, oh my God, no suicide defending here. That looks like this will be the final highlight and full time. Barcelona 2, Brighton 2. A hard-fought earned draw away from home at the Camp Nou. But thankfully, we've got away with that. And we'll take an opening point in our first game. So Anderlecht did end up beating Red Bull Leipzig 2-1. So they take the opening win and sit top of our group as things stand. Obviously, an away point away against Barcelona is absolutely fantastic and sets us up nicely for the rest of the campaign. When we return, we will be facing Anderlecht and Arsenal in the next episode. Home game against Anderlecht, so you would expect us to get a comfortable win there. And in a home game against Arsenal, who always causes problems every season. I think they've still got Eden Hazard, who they signed quite early in the save. But anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like. And if you are enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.